Hello, my name is Rossella and today I'm going to do chapter 6 in this book. If you haven't done it yet, click on the red button there and subscribe to my channel. You can find me on Facebook, Theory Virtuoso, and Instagram, Theory Virtuoso. You can also visit my website, theoryvirtuoso.com, where you can see all the videos that I publish. There are music theory videos, musical quizzes, sample exam papers from the new online format from 2020, tutorials on discovering music theory, all grades, and piano tutorials to improve your piano performance too. Thank you for watching. Bye!
Chapter 6 talks about intervals, and this is a massive topic in music. Being able to understand and identify the distance between the notes, it's very important for transposition, for chords, and lots of other things. So let's try to make it right, shall we? In exercise 1, we need to circle the minor seconds. The minor seconds are semitones. That's all. So if you name the notes correctly here, you will be able to identify the semitones. Maybe the best way is to draw a keyboard. I'm going to make it very long. Okay, that's done. In the scale of B harmonic minor, we have B, Do sharp, that's a tone, Do sharp, Re. This is a semitone. Because the semitone is the shortest distance between two notes. But the tone is not the longest, so don't get confused. The semitone is the shortest distance between two notes in the Western music system. So, let's circle these two notes. Re, mi, that's a tone. Mi, fa sharp, that's another tone, but fa sharp sol is a semitone. Sol la sharp is an augmented second, so that's even more than a second, than a major second. But la sharp B is another semitone. So the harmonic scale has 3 semitones. I hope this is clear. Let's go descending now. The alto clef is treble clef plus 1. So let's read this note together. This is Sol. In the treble clef we have G here. So Sol, La, Si, Do, Re. This would be D in the treble clef. But because we need to do plus 1, so that means E. So Mi, Re sharp. That's the first semitone. Re sharp. Re sharp, Do sharp, that's a tone. Do sharp. B, that's another tone. B, La, that's another tone. La, So sharp, that is a semitone, you see. La, So sharp. So sharp, Fa sharp is a tone. And then Fa sharp, Mi is another tone, 2 steps. That's it. By the way, this is a major scale, major scale. The major scale has this sequence of tones and semitone. TTS, TTTS. Tone, tone, semitone, tone, 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 semitone. The harmonic and melodic scales are different, but if you want to remember this for the major scales, this is the ascending version, of course. So if you go descending, you need to go backwards. So semitone, tone, 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 semitone, tone, tone. G sharp, melodic minor. Let's have a look. So sharp, fa sharp, that's a tone. Fa sharp, mi is another tone. Mi, re sharp, this is a semitone. Here we are. Re sharp, do sharp is a tone. Do sharp, B is another tone. B, La sharp is a semitone. Here it is again. La sharp, Sol sharp is a tone. So nothing. Exercise 1 is completed. Let's move on. In exercise 2, we need to write the names of the intervals. So, type and number. Alto clef, treble clef plus 1. La plus 1 equals Si. Mi sharp plus 1 equals Fa sharp. Now, keyboard. Oh, maybe this is too long. It is. Sorry. Okay. Fa sharp, B. First of all, the number Fa, Sol, La, Si. This is a fourth. Now the perfect fourth is 2 tones and a half. So from Fa sharp to B, you can go backwards. It's the same. So let's go backwards. 1, 2 and a half. Great. Perfect. Fourth. Let's do that again. 1, 2 and a half. So the only things you need to remember are that a fourth is 2 tones and a half. A fifth is 3 tones and a half. A second is 2 semitones. A third is 2 tones. You only need to remember these things. For the 6th and the 7th, I'll let you know. I have a system. Bass clef. So first of all, the clef. If we read the notes incorrectly, it's very likely that we're going to tell something incorrect here. So, B, Si, Re sharp. This is a third. Si, Do, Re. A third. We need the number first. If the notes are 2 tones apart, is a major third. So, from B to D sharp. 1, 2. So again, 1. Don't think it's very clear. 1, 2. 2 tones. So this is a major third. Alto clef, treble clef plus 1. This is So flat becomes La flat. And Mi becomes Fa. Now, Fa La is a third. So Fa, Sol, La. You can go backwards. La, Sol, Fa. La, Sol, Fa. It's the same. I'm a pianist, so I go backwards. That's a third, we said. Okay, now let's remind ourselves that a major third is 2 tones. So from La flat, 1 and a half. So we are missing 1 semitone, which means that from major we get to the minor third. Fa, And let's count. This is sol, sol, la, si, do, re, mi. Interesting. Fa mi is a seventh. Okay, fa fa is an octave. Fa mi is a seventh. So seventh. Now, I have a system for the sevenths and the sixth. You flip over the interval. So instead of fa mi, we consider mi fa. Mi fa is a second. Now we shall identify the type of this second. If it's major, minor, augmented, diminished, we don't know it yet. So mi fa is a semitone, so it's a minor second. But if we flip it over, it becomes a major seventh. Major seventh. So let's do that again. A seventh can become a second if we flip over the notes. So the bottom one goes to the top or vice versa. In this case, I'd like them to be within the stave. So I've put a lower the ledge line note down. We identify the second, and because this is a minor second, is a semitone. If we flip it over again, it becomes a major seventh. That's it. You can do the same with the sixth, but the sixth will become, when flipped over, they would become a third. But we'll get there. Fa sharp sol, that's a semitone. So it's a minor, it's a minor second. Yeah. A minor second, one semitone. B flat, oh, by the way, the bass clef is treble clef plus 2. And if you want to revise it, if you want to understand what I mean, you only need to click on the card above or in the links below. I've made 4 videos about how to read the notes in all the clefs. It is very useful. I'm not playing my own trumpet. It is very useful. They don't last very long. It's like 3, 4, 5 minutes each. But it clears up all the clouds in your head. E flat, because this is do flat plus 2 becomes mi flat. Si mi is a fifth. Si, la, sol, fa, mi, a fifth. Now a perfect fifth is 3 tones and a half. So from B flat, 1, 2, 3 and a half. Perfect. A perfect fifth. 1, 2, 3 and a half. Sorted. Alto clef, treble clef plus 1, so do flat becomes re flat and si becomes do. Re flat do is a minor second. Because it is a semitone. Sol fa, that's a seventh. Sol, this is sol. Okay, we flip it over. For practical reasons, I just put that here. What is important is you create a second with the notes that you have. So fa sol is a tone, so it's a major second. If we flip it over, a major becomes a minor. So this is a minor seventh. And by the way, the major seventh is a semitone apart. It's a leading note of a scale. So if you have a tone, it's a minor seventh. Okay, so I hope this is clear. Just because this is not a sixth, I want to show you the technique that I use for the sixths. And it is the same of the seventh, but you create a third. So D flat, B flat, Re flat, C flat. So I put it up here. What type of third is this? Let's count. 1 1/2. This is a minor third. If we flip it over, it becomes a major sixth. Okay, so the same principle, but a sixth becomes a third and a seventh becomes a second. Okay, this is sorted. I hope this was useful. Let's move on to exercise 3. In exercise 3, we need to write a higher note, and this is in bold because you have no idea how many candidates write it below the note, and this costs marks. So let's make it right. Let's follow exactly the instructions exactly as they are. Higher, so up. A perfect fifth from do. I'll tell you, do sol. You only need to count do, re, mi, fa, sol. I'll tell you a secret. All the intervals from C, in C major, so do, re, do, mi, do, fa, do, sol, do, la, do, si, are major, major, perfect, perfect, major, major. So if you transpose from C major to what you have, okay, for example, D flat, this is another technique, but this is only for the maths lovers. So do sol, if you want to be sure, you only need to write a keyboard again. And count 3 tones and a half. So 1, 2, 3 and a half. Perfect fifth. A major third, a note higher, is 2 tones. So from mi flat, we have to go up. 1 and 2. Okay, so first the name of the note. Mi, fa, sol, G. Why am I saying this? Because this note could be fa double sharp, A double flat, but we need to call it G because otherwise it's not a third, but it's a fourth, it's a second, and so forth. So mi flat, 1 and 2, 2 tones. That's it, G. A minor 6 from G, this is a G, okay? Mi plus 2, treble clef plus 2 equals bass clef. So this is G. Now for the 6, I said in exercise 2, and if you need, go back and listen to my technique. We need to flip it over. So we need to write a note a third down. This is mi sol. Now we need to create a major third, because if we flip over a major third, it becomes a minor 6. So from sol, we need to go 2 tones down. So 1 and 2. This note is mi flat. So again, 1 and 2. If you want, you can do sol, fa, mi. This note is E flat. And here it is. Now we've created a major third. If we write this note up here, we would make a minor 6th. So here it is. If you're not sure where to write it, the 2 dots tell us where F is. So fa, mi, 1 note down. I hope this is clear. The fact that you have a video always available means that you can always pause, think, and go on, or pause, think, go back, think again, go back, go to other videos, go to other exercises, flip through the video if you need. And even if I'm telling stuff that you know already very well, listen to them again. Repeating things always help. D flat, okay, treble clef plus 2, B flat plus 2, D flat. Let me write it down. Re flat. A major second, 1 tone above. So re flat, mi flat. Here it is. alto clef, treble clef plus 1. This note is La plus 1, Si. A perfect octave. My favorite is a B above, and we need to write an A again. So there you go. A in treble clef. Si. That's a perfect octave. It's my favorite. The octave is my favorite. Absolutely. Do we have another one here? No, shame. Treble clef plus 1, Do plus 1, Re. Okay, major seventh. This means that if we flip it over, we need to create a minor second. So, a minor second is a semitone. So from D, C sharp. Okay, D, C sharp. That's a minor second. If we write now C sharp up here, we make it a major seventh. So, to write a C, we need to write a B. It's one down. Here it is. Why am I writing it so little? Not sure, but anyway, this is it. Bass clef, treble clef plus 2. So this is Sol plus 2, C. A minor second from C. It means a semitone below. So La sharp. Untidy. A minor seventh from B. I create a major second below. So C, La. Now, C, 1, 2, La. This is a major second already. So I only need to flip over this and write it up here to create a minor seventh. Because when I flip it over is a major second. Now a major second flipped over becomes a minor seventh. That's it. I hope what I'm saying makes sense to you. If not, let me know. I will explain my technique better. You can only find it in my videos, and now I'm sharing it with the students of all the world, and I hope this is helpful and you appreciate this. Let's move on to exercise 4, shall we? In exercise 4, we need to circle true or false for each of these statements. A diminished fifth is one semitone larger than an augmented fourth. Okay. A perfect interval plus one semitone becomes augmented. A perfect interval minus one semitone becomes a diminished interval. Okay, now a diminished fifth is in fact an augmented fourth. Because if we consider Do Sol flat, that's a diminished 6, so C, G flat. If we call G flat F sharp, that means an augmented fourth. So this is false because it's not larger, but it's the same. To make it clearer, a diminished fifth is 3 tones because 3 tones and a half plus minus one semitone, so it's 3 tones. And an augmented fourth is basically a perfect fourth is 2 tones and a half plus one semitone is 3 tones. So here it is, it's false. They are the same. An augmented fourth, so 3 tones, is 1 semitone larger than a perfect fourth. And this is correct because a perfect fourth is 2 tones and a half. So 2 tones and a half plus 1 semitone is 3 tones. True. A perfect fifth, so 3 tones and a half, is 1 semitone smaller than the augmented fifth. The augmented fifth is so 3 tones and a half plus 1 semitone is augmented, so it's 4 tones. Now a perfect fifth is 1 semitone smaller than 4 tones. 3 and a halves is 1 semitone smaller than 4 tones. Yes, true. An augmented fourth is 1 semitone larger than a major third. So an augmented fourth is 2 tones and a half plus 1 semitone. So 3 tones. Is 1 semitone larger than a major third. A major third is 2 tones. And 3 tones is not 1 semitone, but it's 1 tone. So this is false. A diminished fifth, 3 tones and a half minus 1 semitone. Minus 1 semitone is 3 tones. Is 1 tone larger than a perfect fourth. And a perfect fourth is 2 tones and a half. Now it's not 1 tone, but it's 1 semitone, not 1 tone. So this is false. This is it. So what did I do here? I've converted this nonsense, I'm joking, this musical terms into numbers. Because when we talk with numbers, we talk objectively, so they say. So if you convert into numbers, you can do these equivalences, like in maths. Music is very related to maths because it needs strict settings to be consistent, and consistent in centuries as well. Let's not forget the music was orally passed on in the past. So let's move on to exercise 5. In this exercise, we need to compare the 2 intervals and say whether the second interval has been augmented or diminished. Now, if you have the keyboard in mind, this is really easy. I'm not going to write a keyboard this time because I'd like you to think of this. If a distance between 2 notes is this, putting a sharp would increase the distance. Therefore, we create an augmented interval. If we put a flat, we shorten the distance. So we create a diminished interval. So try to visualize this kind of movement. And so we wouldn't need the keyboard to answer these questions, but actually it would be much easier and quicker. Okay, so mi-si is a perfect fifth. If we put a flat on the second note, we make it diminished because we reduce the distance from this to the flat. This is fa, okay, re plus 2. So sol, la, si, do, re, di in the treble clef plus 2, fa. Fa, sol. Now, fa sol is a major second, but if we put a sharp on the second note, we make it augmented. A perfect fourth, re sol. If we put a flat, we shorten the distance, so it becomes diminished. Now, a minor second, we don't even need to read the notes, but it's treble clef plus 1. So this is la, sol. Now, this is a minor seventh, but if we put a flat, we make it diminished. So basically, flat means diminished and sharp means augmented. But let's see here, we have a flat and then a natural, which means that we go up. So we make it augmented. A minor 7 with a flat becomes even shorter, so diminished. And the major second with a sharp becomes augmented because it's up, it goes further away. And I hope that this is clear. Shall we do the challenge? Also, that one is easier than we think, but let's do that together, shall we? In this challenge, we need to rewrite these intervals, making them from diminished fifths to augmented fourths. And this can happen when we use the enharmonic equivalent of the second note. So this is even easier than we think. Now, instead of Mi flat, we need to write a D sharp. That's it. Re La flat. Now, La flat could be also called G sharp, is a black note. G sharp. This is treble clef plus 1. So this is Fa sharp. And this is B plus 1 is C. Now Fa sharp, we need to write a fourth. So this C, Do, must become a B sharp. So Fa sharp, B sharp is a fourth, exactly. You can also go onto the piano or your instrument and play the notes and see if they sound the same. But trust me, they are the same. Okay, let's turn the page together. Okay, in this exercise 6, we need to write the names of the intervals as we did before, but it includes now augmented and diminished intervals. First of all, the number. First of all, the keyboard. Okay, now the number. Sol, La sharp, G, A sharp. That is a second. Sol, La. So, second. Then, what kind of second? A major second is made up of 2 semitones. So, Sol, La is a tone. But we have an extra one. So, instead of major, we have an augmented second. Now, the next one, Sol, Mi. First of all, the number. Sol, La, Si, Do, Re, Mi. You can also go backwards. Mi, Re, Do, Si, La, Sol is a sixth. And this is the interesting one. Now, the sixth, if you are watching the video from exercise 6, please go and watch exercise 2 and 3 where I explain this technique in detail. Let's recap it quickly. Mi sharp, Sol, if I flip over the interval, an interval of sixth, we have an interval of third. And if the third is major, the interval, the sixth is minor, and vice versa, so it's the opposite. Now, Mi sharp, So sharp, let's have a look. Mi sharp, it's here, 1.5, it's 1.5 tones. But the third should be 2 tones. So if it's 1.5, it means that it's a diminished third. Let's do that again. Mi sharp, 1 tone and a half. It is a minor third. And a minor third becomes a major sixth. So major sixth. So sharp, La is a semitone, so it's a minor second. A semitone is a minor second. So La, that's a second. And it's a semitone apart, not a tone. So it's a minor second. Re sharp, so this is in bass clef, so watch out for the name of the notes. If we read them incorrectly, we are very likely to give an incorrect answer. So, Re Sol is a fourth. Why do I say that? Because I count Re, Mi, Fa, Sol. Now, A fourth, a perfect fourth, has 2.5 tones. So from D sharp, 1 and 2, not the half. So instead of perfect, it's diminished. Because, let's write it here again, a perfect interval plus 1 semitone is augmented. Minus 1 semitone is diminished. Mi, okay, always treble clef plus 2, okay, La flat. This is a fifth, La, Si, Do, Re, Mi. Now a perfect fifth is 3 tones and a half, so let's count. 1, 2, 3, and 4, because we have 1, 2, 3 and a half, and another half because La is flat. So when we add a semitone, we have it augmented. Mi, Si flat, this is another fifth. Mi, Fa, Sol, La, Si. Let's count. 3.5. 1, 2, 3. But we're missing the half because B is flat. So 1, 2, and 3. So the perfect interval minus 1 semitone is diminished. Mi, Fa double sharp. Mi, Fa double sharp. This is a second. Now, a major second would be 2 semitones. So, here, Fa sharp. Mi, Fa sharp would be a major second. But we have another sharp, another sharp, basically, another semitone up, which means that from major we get to augmented. Let me write it actually here. Major, minor, diminished. Major plus 1, augmented. This is what you need to know. Alto clef is treble clef plus 1, so don't panic. Sol plus 1, La, and Do sharp plus 1, Re sharp. La Re is a fourth, La, Si, Do, Re, so fourth. Now, a fourth is 2 tones and a half, so 1, 2, and 3. So we have an extra semitone, which means that is augmented. Re flat plus 1 is Mi flat, and this is, let's count, Sol, La, Si, Do. Sol in treble clef is here, right? So Sol, La, Si, Do. Do flat plus 1 becomes Re flat. Now, interestingly, this is a seventh. Okay, Mi flat, Re flat is a seventh. Now let's use my technique. We flip it over and we write it here. Now, Re flat, Mi is a second, but what kind of second? Re flat, Mi flat. Re flat, Mi flat is 2 semitones. So it is a major second. If we flip it over, it becomes a minor seventh. So let's do that again. Re flat, so this is a seventh, we flip it over and it becomes a second. Re flat, Mi flat. This is a tone, okay, 2 semitones apart, which means there is a major second. If we flip it over, it becomes a minor seventh. is the opposite of both. Major becomes minor, second becomes a seventh. Sol sharp is La sharp, and Fa plus 1 is Sol. So La sharp, Sol is a second. And I bet there is further than a major second, because La sharp, this would be the major, but we have an extra tone, semitone, so it's an augmented. Sol plus 1 is La, and Do flat plus 1 is Re flat. Always do this calculation plus 1 because it is a bit confusing in the alto clef. By the time we get to here, we might read it in another clef because the clef is very far from these notes. So always like redo the whole thinking again. I do recommend this because as we go along, we might get tired, we might get distracted. So it's always important to be always right. So Sol plus 1 is La, and Do flat plus 1 is Re flat. La Re is a fifth. Re, Mi, Fa, Sol, La. Let's count. 3 tones and a half to be perfect. 1, 2, 3 and a half, and another half because it's D flat. So this is augmented. Sorted. This is done. I hope this is useful, this and my system for the 7th and the 6th is useful. If not, let me know and leave a comment if you need further explanations. Exercise 7 now. In this exercise we need to write the intervals, and this note should be higher, and I highlight that, underline and highlight that one more time. We start with a 7, a minor 7th. Let's apply my technique, which again I have found it myself, so you won't find it in any other music theory videos. To make a minor 7th, I flip over the interval and I must create a major second. A major second from La, keyboard again. This is a major second. Sol, La, 2 semitones. So, if I flip it over, it becomes a minor 7th. A 6th from Re is going to be Re, Mi, Fa, Sol, La, Si. It's a B, okay? And I write it here. Now, to make a major 6th, I flip over the notes and I create a minor 3rd. Now, a minor 3rd from Re, it's so a major 3rd is 2 tones, so that means 1 tone and a half. 1 and a half. B, D is already a minor 3rd, which means that if I flip it over, this is a major 6th. Easy peasy. Let's move on. So sharp. A perfect 4th. Sol, La, Si, Do. Middle C. A perfect 4th is a 2 tones and a half. So from So sharp, 1, 2 and a half. Do sharp. Again. From So sharp, 1, 2 and a half. Do sharp. A diminished 7th from D sharp. Actually, yes, from D sharp. So I need to write a Do, okay, a C. And here it is. Let's see what kind of C this would be. It's a bit high. Okay, I flip it over and I make it a second. Now I need to make an augmented second, and look at this. Major second, augmented. So C, D sharp is already an augmented second, which means that if I flip it over, this becomes a diminished seventh. Sorted. Is that clear? Can you let me know, guys? Do you like this technique, by the way? Let me know. +1. Treble clef +1 equals alto clef. So this is La +1 is C. A major third from B is 2 tones apart. 1, 2. This note should be called D sharp. So D sharp. To write it, you can count from here, 2 steps from here, or you do treble clef -1, because to read it we do +1, to write it -1 is the opposite basically. So again, B, from B, C, D sharp. Another alto clef +1. So this is Mi +1 is Fa. Now an augmented fourth is 3 tones basically, because a perfect fourth is 2 tones and a half. An augmented is 3 tones. We add another semitone. So from Fa is 1, 2, 3. Okay, this note here. What do we call it? Let's see. Fa, Sol, La, Si. This note is a B instead of B flat. Fa B flat would be a perfect fourth. B natural is an augmented fourth. Now to write a B we need to do -1. Treble clef -1. We need to write an A. And here it is. A minor second from La is B flat, is 1 semitone above. Now why can't we call it A sharp? Because A sharp is a unison, is an augmented unison. But we need a second, so we must call this note differently from the given one. Fa sharp, a major seventh from Fa sharp, which means that we need to create a minor second from flipped over. So Fa sharp, a minor second is a semitone below this. This note must be called differently from Fa, F, because otherwise we create a diminished unison. So we need to call it E, Mi sharp. Now, Mi sharp, Fa sharp, Mi sharp, Fa sharp is a minor second. If I flip it over, it becomes a major seventh. So, Mi sharp here. Next one in bass clef, Do sharp, a major sixth, which means a minor third. Now a minor third from Do sharp is 1.5 tones. This note is called Si, La sharp. So Do sharp, Si, La sharp. So La sharp here. This is a minor third. If I flip it over and I write a La sharp here, this is a major sixth. And by the way, Do La is a major sixth, Do sharp, La sharp, I shift the interval basically, both the notes, and I create a major sixth again. An augmented second from B flat. Now, up, okay, so B, C, and this is a major second. Now another half of a tone, Do sharp. Let's do that again. 1, and then I need to add a semitone. This is Do, Do sharp. alto clef is treble clef plus 1. So augmented fifth from E is B, first of all. And to write a B, I need to write an A. Now let's count. An augmented fifth is 3 tones and a half plus 1 semitone. So 1, 2, 3 and a half. I've identified the note, now the name. This is B, natural in this case. We must call it B, so B natural. 1, 2, 3 and a half. And then I need another half because I need to make it augmented. So I need to add an extra semitone. If this was B, because EB, that is the Mi Si is the fifth, this is sharp. So sharp. Done. I hope this is clear. As I said at the beginning, intervals are a massive topic in music and it is very important. So make sure that you understand what I'm saying here. Leave me a comment if you do understand, and if you don't understand, let me know if my video is helpful and let me know if there is anything I need to re-explain. I will be happy to do it. For now, exercise 8. We need to circle the type, but to identify the type, I'm afraid we need to do everything. We need to identify the number and then we need to calculate the distance between the notes. So, first of all, keyboard. Now, I've remembered it before I started. That is incredible. Okay, now, Fa Si. This is a fourth, Fa, Sol, La, Si, okay? And if you call the notes with letter names, it's the same. This is Fa, B flat. So it's a fourth. Now a fourth could be perfect, diminished, augmented, so minor and major are not to be considered. A perfect fourth is 2 tones and a half. So let's count. 1, 2 and a half. Perfect. Sorted. 1, 2 and a half. Oh my goodness, what is this note? Okay, this is Mi. Mi is here. So, Mi, Re, Do, Si, La, Sol, G. Mi, Re, Do, Si, La, Sol. Okay? Mi, Re, Do. Do sharp. Sol, Do is a fourth again. Now, perfect fourth is 2 tones and a half. So let's count. 1, 2 and a half. But then we have Do sharp. So it's not perfect, but augmented. Because again, we said a perfect interval plus 1 semitone augmented. Minus 1 semitone is diminished. This is really important. Alto clef is treble clef plus 1. So Mi sharp becomes Fa sharp and B becomes Do. So Fa Do is a fifth and a perfect fifth is 3 tones and a half. So from Fa sharp, 1, 2 and 3. We are missing the half. So instead of perfect, it is diminished. Sol sharp and Fa double sharp. It's a seventh. Now to identify the seventh, I flip over the interval, which is Fa sharp, Fa double sharp, Sol, Sol. Now Fa double sharp, Sol is a second and we need to identify the type of a second. So Fa sharp, double sharp, Sol, sharp. Is a minor second because it's just 1 semitone apart. Which means that if I flip it over, this seventh is major. So, major seventh. By the way, The major seventh is one semitone below. So sharp, fa double sharp is one semitone. So major. It's the leading note. In G sharp minor, fa double sharp is the leading note. So it's a major seventh from the tonic. I hope this makes sense. If you need, pause the video and think what I'm saying. The leading note is a semitone below the tonic. In the major keys, we already have it. So for example, C major is B. But in the minor chords, in the minor scales, we need to raise it up. So sharp, fa double sharp is a semitone below. Alto clef, treble clef plus 1. So do flat becomes re flat, B becomes C. This is a second. Now, D flat, C is a semitone. So minor. Done. I hope you are happy with this explanation. Let me know and leave a comment, write me an email. Keep in touch. Exercise 9. This exercise 9 asks us to name the intervals. The difference is that they are taken from a melody. But there's no difference. We only need to name the notes correctly, given the key signature. So for example, this is sol and sol. That's an octave. Ah, my favorite. Perfect octaves. Perfect octave. Brilliant. Re, mi, I forgot that again. I told you. Where do I do the... I think I'll do it here. Yeah, I'll do it here. The keyboard. Because I would need it down again. That's very big. Okay. Re mi. Re mi flat, because it's flat. Let's not forget. So re mi flat is a minor second because it's one semitone. The notes are one semitone apart. So minor second. Si sol is a sixth. Si do re mi fa sol. Now, to identify the type of interval with sixth, I flip over. Sol si, what kind of third it is? 1 and 2 is a major third, which means that this is a minor sixth. Minor sixth. So let's do that again. 1 and 2 is the third. If I flip over a minor third, major third, it becomes a minor sixth. I hope this makes sense. Let's read the notes correctly on the second exercise, because this piece by Offenbach is written in bass clef. Sol, fa sharp, G, F sharp is a semitone. So, minor second. Ah, brilliant. This is do and this is sol. This is a fourth. Sol, la, si, do. What kind of fourth? A perfect fourth is 2 tones and a half. Let's count. 1, 2 and a half. Oh, brilliant. Perfect fourth. We haven't missed any flats, so great. Sol, re flat is a fifth. 3 tones and a half. 1, 2, 3. We're missing the half. 1, 2, 3. So it is not perfect, but is diminished. Because we shorten the distance. Instead of so re, re flat. So we shorten the distance. We have one flat and in bass clef. So do, fa is a fourth, do, re, mi, fa, and let's count 2 tones and a half to be perfect. 1, 2 and a half. Perfect. Okay? 1, 2 and a half. Now this is a second. La, si. And it is 2 semitones apart, so it's a major second. Number 3 is mi natural and B flat. Mi, fa, sol, la, si. It is a fifth. 3 tones and a half to be perfect. 1, 2 and 3. We're missing the half. Let's do that again. 1, 2 and 3. So instead of perfect, it is diminished. Next one, sol and do. This is a fifth. Do, re, mi, fa, sol. And let's see. 1, 2, 3 and a half. Perfect. By the way, as I said before, all the intervals from C are major, major, perfect, perfect, major, major. So, easy peasy. Let's move on to the last one, a gorgeous piece by Glinka. La, do, this is in treble clef, so la, do, a third. To be major, it has to have 2 tones, but this has 1 and a half, so it is minor. La, so sharp, this is a semitone, so it is a minor third, minor second, oops, minor second, a semitone, minor second. Mi, sol is a 6, sol, la, si, do, re, mi. You can go backwards as well, mi, re, do, si, la, sol, okay, is a 6. Now for the 6, I use my technique because I love it, and I flip them over and I identify what kind of third this is. Mi, sol, 1 and a half is 1 tone and a half, which means there is a minor third. If I flip over a minor third, it becomes a major sixth. So a minor third from sol to mi is 1 and a half, which means that it is a minor third. If I flip it over, it becomes a major sixth. This is a 7th. Now I flip over mi, fa sharp, and I identify what kind of second this is. Mi flat, fa is a tone, so would be major, but we have an extra flat, an extra sharp, extra semitone in it anyway. So it is 1 tone and a half. Instead of major, it becomes augmented, 1 and a half. An augmented second, if flipped over, becomes a diminished 7th. So again, mi flat, fa would be a major second, but we have an extra semitone, so it's augmented. Augmented becomes diminished when it flipped over. So diminished 7th. And with this interesting interval, we have finished our chapter 6. I hope it was useful. Let me know. Keep in touch. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you for watching, sharing and liking my videos. Remember, tell your friends about it. If it was useful for you, it will be useful for other people too. Now, if you want to watch other tutorials on Discovering Music Theory Grade 4, click here now and enjoy learning. In the meantime, I'd like to thank all those who have messaged or emailed me and left a comment here. I'm glad that my videos were useful for you and let you feel more confident and strong when taking your exams. I'm here for this. Especially the ones who told me that thanks to my videos they got a distinction at their music theory exam, and this makes me very happy. Thank you so much. The merit is all yours, but thank you for letting me know. And of course, please do keep in touch. I love it. Thank you. Happy music. Bye.